Okay, so we're on to Algebra 13, solving quadratic equations, massive part of any maths course. So write these four sums into your copy, and then we'll get started. So in the first four examples, I've taken quadratic equations that have no constant. So you should see from all these quadratic equations that one possible solution is 0. 0 will fit into all four. So when there's no constant, 0 will always be a solution. So let's factorize these and see what happens. So if we take out 2x, or we could divide by 2, 2x is going to leave x squared, just x, so 2x squared plus 2.5 is equal to 0. So for this equation to be equal to 0, one of the terms has to be 0. So we can say 2x is 0, which would give me the 0 solution, or x plus 2.5 is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 2.5. So these are my two solutions. In question 2, we're going to have x by x minus x plus 10 is equal to 0. So this one, x is equal to 0. For this one, x plus 10 would have to be equal to 0. So x would have to be minus 10. And if we go back up and check that, minus 10 squared plus 10 by minus 10. It's going to give me 100 minus 100, which is equal to 0. And this one here, we're going to get 5x on the outside by x minus, now what do I multiply 5 by to get 1? Well, it'll be 1 over 5 is equal to 0. So 5x is equal to 0, and that's where we get my x is equal to 0, or x minus 1 over 5 is equal to 0, so x is equal to 1 over 5. If we to verify that, 5 by 1 over 5 squared minus 1 over 5 is equal to 5 by 1 over 25 minus 1 over 5 equals 0. And you can see that the first one's going to give me 5 over 25, which is 1 over 5, minus 1 over 5, which does equal 0. And the last one, 10x times x minus, what do I multiply 10 by to get 5? Well, it's going to be a half equals 0. So 10x is equal to 0. So x is 0. Or x minus a half is equal to 0. So x is equal to a half. So 4 examples of quadratic equations where there's no constant. Practice these 4 before moving on. Okay, so pause the video, write the questions into your copy, and attempt these questions. Test yourself on quadratics with no constant. Here's the solutions. X by x minus 3 equals 0. You should start seeing a pattern developing here. If we have a minus 3 inside the bracket, the answer is going to be plus 3. And the reason is we bring it across the equal sign. So this one's going to have a plus x by x plus 7. So x is equal to 0, or x is equal to minus 7. You could write x plus 7 equals 0 first, x equals minus 7. But now you're getting good. You should be able to just jump straight to here. This one, 2x, is going to be multiplied by x plus 2 multiplied by 1.5 gives 3. So 2x is equal to 0. So that's always going to be the 0 part, the one outside the bracket with x on its own. Can we just write x is equal to minus 1.5? Is everyone happy to get to that point? Change that sign. Now what's actually happening is you're putting the 1.5 over the coefficient of x, which is 1. And we'll see that when we're solving quadratics with a constant. Now, if you want to try these first, you can. If not, just watch the video, and then I'll test you on a few more in a minute. So, difference of two squares. We saw this in one of the earlier algebra videos. You know the factorization here is x times x, 2 and 2, a minus and a plus equals 0. So like I said previously, the answer in the first one is going to be x is equal to plus 2. And the answer in the second one is x is equal to minus 2. Y plus 6 by y minus 6 equals 0. So y equals minus 6 to give this whole bracket a value of 0, and y is equal to plus 6 to give this bracket a value of 0. Now, Factorize this. What are we going to get? 5y, 6 and 6, plus and minus. Now, this is where it's important to understand that there's a coefficient involved here. So let's do the first one the long way. 5y plus 6 equals 0. So what's happening? We're bringing the 6 across and it's changing sign. So that's why the solution here is going to be a minus. Then we're dividing by 5 to get y is equal to minus 6 over 5. Now have a look. What has happened? We've taken this number and put it over this number, and we have changed the plus sign. So if we do the same here, we're going to get y is equal to 6 over 5, and stick this 6 over this 5, and instead of a minus, we have a plus. So try and do that going forward with solving quadratics. Okay, here's 6 questions to test yourself with. Solving difference of two squares. Pause the video, try the sums. So the solutions. 7x minus 9 by 7x plus 9. Doesn't matter which one has the plus and which one has the minus. So the solution here is x is equal to the 9 over the 7 with the sign changed, and the 9 over the 7 with the sign changed. Number 2, 8y, 5 plus minus. So minus 5 over 8, should write y equals, and 5 plus 5 over 8 from this bracket here. Now, this is a little unusual, this one. There's a couple of ways to do it. We could use the square root of 8 times x by the square root of 8 times x, but if we can identify that, if we divide by 8, we're going to get x squared minus 25 is equal to 0. So now we have x minus 5 by x plus 5 equals 0. So x is equal to plus 5 or minus 5. Similar to this one, we're going to get 5 minus x by 5 plus x. So you can see the answers are going to be, well, if we do it long ways, 5 minus x equals 0. So x equals 5. So in the other one, x will be minus 5. Square root of 121, you all know, is 11. Minus 8 and plus 8. So y is equal to plus 8 over 11. We don't need the plus sign, but you can put it in, and y is equal to minus 8 over 11. Square root of 169 is 13x. A 1 and a 1, a minus and a plus. So x is equal to 1 over 13 and minus 1 over 13. So there's a couple of different ways to write them. We can put a comma in between. We can write the letter itself twice. We can write them underneath each other. So loads of different methods to solve and simplify, but factorizing and solving quite specific. Hopefully you've got all 6 correct.